I'm David Skidmore. Today's lesson is pretty straightforward. It's all about playing octaves, specifically playing octaves with double vertical strokes. It takes practice to play octaves in double vertical strokes on the marimba with note accuracy. More importantly, it also takes practice to be relaxed and get a good sound while playing octaves on the marimba. There are some prominent moments in the marimba literature that ask you to play in octaves, especially the solo marimba literature, and many people wait until they're playing one of these pieces to start working on octaves. So don't be one of those people. If you start working on the skill now, then when you decide to play a piece like, for instance, Merlin by Andrew Thomas, or Variations on Lost Love by David Maslanka, playing octaves with double vertical strokes will already be fluent and comfortable for you. It'll be a part of your toolkit as a marimba player. Check out the first exercise, and be sure to start at the slowest tempo. Remember, if you're not staying relaxed and being accurate, then you're forming bad habits instead of good habits. I want you to think about three things while you're playing these exercises. The first thing I want you to think about is your playing area on the bar. So for starters, let's play in the ideal playing spot on each bar, towards the center of the bar, just off of the resonator. Then practice the exercise with the upper manual notes played on the edge of the bar. This is something that you'll need to do as the tempo gets quicker in the Etude. The second thing I want you to think about when playing this exercise is preparing your right hand for the next note it's going to play. Your left hand doesn't have time to prepare for the next note, but your right hand has a full measure to get above the next pitch that it's going to play. This is the same kind of preparation and hand shift that we've been doing for this entire video series. And of course, it becomes very important when we start working on the Etude that's a part of this lesson. And the third thing I want you to think about while playing this exercise is your thumb position. You know that you're going to be playing octaves throughout this entire lesson. So you want your thumb to be positioned in such a way to give yourself the maximum amount of strength and stability while playing this interval. There's no need to have your thumb in a position where you could change intervals, because you're not going to be changing intervals. In the second exercise, we move a little bit quicker through the same sequence of pitches. Even though the Etude that's a part of this lesson is forte throughout, be sure to play this exercise and all the exercises in this lesson at a wide range of dynamic levels. Warm-up number 3 focuses on one of the most difficult passages in the Etude that's a part of this lesson. All I've done is ask you to play each note of that passage twice. That, plus starting at a slow tempo, will give you plenty of time to focus on staying relaxed and getting a good sound. This exercise also brings up another really important aspect of playing the marimba, footwork. We've talked so much in this series about what your fingers and your hands and your wrists and your arms should be doing, but we haven't yet had an opportunity in the lessons to talk about what your feet should be doing while you're playing. And what your feet do while you're playing has a huge impact on every aspect of your performance. We covered a little bit of this in the introduction, but just as a review, a good basic stance while you're playing is to have your feet about shoulder width apart or slightly wider. In general, you want to take as few steps as possible when you're playing the marimba. You want your torso to be centered between the highest note you're going to play and the lowest note you're going to play. And you can always lean to center your body above the notes that you're playing at any given moment. In exercise 3, we cover a pretty wide range of the marimba. So my feet are a little bit wider apart than they would normally be. And this gives me even more flexibility to lean in the direction of where I'm playing. Think about your footwork early on, just like we've talked about with planning out when your hands are going to shift for large leaps, or planning what your eyes are going to do and what you're going to be looking at while you're playing. Footwork is the kind of thing that if you start thinking about it early on when you're learning notes and taking things nice and slow, you'll form good habits that will be there when you need them in the performance. Also, going back to exercise number 3, remember that any passage that you find difficult when you're learning a piece of music, make an exercise out of it. That's all I've done with exercise number 3 in this lesson, is take a difficult passage from the Etude and make an exercise out of it. It's a great way to become comfortable and confident with an area of a piece that, when you first read it, feels uncomfortable or difficult. So that's it for this week's lesson. I encourage you to make playing octaves a part of your skill set as a marimba player. Become comfortable playing octaves in double vertical strokes. Playing comfortably, accurately, and musically in octaves on the marimba is sort of like doing a card trick or juggling. To an outside observer, it seems like some kind of a magical power, but actually all it is a skill set that you can learn with patience and practice. Thanks so much for watching.